Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper, and in this video today, guys, we've got a very special guest, Kevin Obrien, good friend of mine, and I want him to tell you about real estate when it comes to prepping, getting you a homestead place. If there's anybody I would resource to, it's Kevin. That's exactly what he does, and whenever he's done talking to you about that, I want to ask him a few questions of my own.
Well, thanks for having me on the channel. You know, probably one of your biggest decisions is the land you choose to live on or bug out to. I mean, if that's not right and not sustainable, I mean, you're gonna have to wind up leaving it anyway. So, you want to make sure it's got your basics covered: water, room to grow your crops and raise your livestock. Or even if you're just going to do hydroponics, you need to make sure you have the right spots to do it. You know, the security feature is always a huge. You know, you want to be off the main roads. You don't want any of your property in eye shot of anyone else. Ideally, you don't want anyone to be able to look on your property. They don't need to know that you might have a herd of cattle or a bunch of chickens or something like that. Times get tough. People are hurting for food. You don't want them to be seeing that you thought ahead and you were prepared. So you got to worry about stuff like that. You know, also I think one of the things people want to do also is they want to get raw land and develop it. And people underestimate the amount of money it takes to develop a piece of land. You have to put driveways in, get all your outbuildings, build your home. A lot of times it's easier to just buy a mini farm or a homestead that's, you know, off the beaten path, where there's a lot of infrastructure there. I mean, there's a lot in East Tennessee. There's lots of farms that are coming on the market for the first time in hundreds of years, they've already got the barns and the wells and the ponds put in and everything you already need. So it's really just a matter of kind of stepping in and tweaking that property to what you need. So you know, it's also important when you're looking around to you know, kind of comparison shop and, you know, make sure price per acre varies wildly. You know, you have to kind of check into that stuff. It's also really important to find a realtor that you can work with. There's not a lot of realtors like myself who are specializing just in homesteads or off-grid properties or bug-out locations. You know, and you know, a lot of realtors just can't really wrap their minds around prepping and preparedness, and they don't know what we're looking for. You know, we don't necessarily want that fancy backyard and, you know, all the granite countertops. We're more concerned with, you know, barns and the quality of the land and things of that nature. So it can save a person a lot of time and money if you can find a realtor that really understands it, and you know, they can kind of sift through the properties and toss the ones out that don't really fit, and it'll save you time from having to travel in and the expense and gas money of having to ride around for days on end just looking at properties that, you know, don't really fit. So you know, that's one of the important things. You know, I think East Tennessee is probably one of the better areas, at least on this half of the coast, on the east end of the country. A lot of rural land, a lot of like-minded people. You know, not a lot of people can afford to bail out to the readout areas of the country, and then you can still find work around here, and you're not so far removed. You know, but you're far enough removed, so it's a nice blend. For a lot of people, it's a balancing act, it's a juggling act, whether you can find work, you know, while you're getting your homestead set up and running and all that other stuff. So in this area of the country, works out well for a lot of people. So
It's like a slow disconnect of the plug.
Yeah,
it's not overnight.
Yeah.
It's a slow disconnect.
It takes money to go cold turkey with, you know, get off that grid quick like. So a lot of people have to ease into it and adapt. Plans change over time, you know, as you've seen. You know, people think they're going to go this route and do this, and they get into it and find out that's not viable or not for them, and they have to tweak it. So you know, it's no different with you know, developing your homestead, your off-grid location. So
yeah, I can definitely second that, because that's like we always thought the farm was going to be the option for years, and now it's picking up stakes and moving all that to another location, a lot more secure.
Right.
And I think people don't take into consideration, you tell me on this, but you can get a piece of land, but that doesn't mean here in Tennessee, because of building codes, you won't have a subdivision in your backyard tomorrow. There's so many factors people don't take into consideration, like me, and now I have a subdivision in my backyard of my farm, and that's not viable anymore.
Yeah, oh yeah, zoning's a huge part of it. It's one of the reasons I chose this area. Zoning is pretty laid back around here, as you well know, but that's a huge factor. Like you said, subdivisions, or you don't want that cell phone tower going up. You know, you want to get that. You know, it's nicer if you've got farms. You know, there are a lot of farming communities out here, so they want to kind of keep it in the farming community. They don't want it. They don't want to have to sell out to a developer or, you know, someone like that. So
industrial park.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they don't want to do that to their neighbors. You know, so you know, one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm real big on community. So what I want to do is I want to match. You know, a lot of farmers are retiring now. The average age of the farmer around this part of Tennessee is what, 58 years old, and their kids move to the big cities, and they don't want to take over the farms or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff coming on the market for the first time ever, because you know they're getting too old to do it, and they just kind of want to just sit back and relax. But they don't want to do that to their neighbors, you know. So you know, I'm trying to match, you know, people that are wanting to phase out of it with people who appreciate what they've done in the land, and want to kind of continue the traditions, even if it's maybe tweaked a little bit for the preparedness mindset. So you know, it's kind of making it a win-win situation. You know, as this stuff becomes available, I'd like to backfill it with you know, people who want to kind of take care of the land and appreciate the land and live off of it. So.
And that's a huge opportunity most people don't take in consideration as well. As it's took 3 generations of my family to get to where we are today, and that's not something that just happens overnight. I see a lot of people that want to go to homesteading and prepping overnight. It's like, psh, that don't happen like that. It is a slow transition. Even if you have the money, just having money to throw at something just ain't the answer either. You've got to put time in.
Home Depot does not have a farm in a box kit, you know, or a bug out location in a box kit.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. Well, what about this property we're at today? To share with the guys.
Yeah, one of the great things about East Tennessee is there's large amounts of land. This area here is 360 acres. Gorgeous 360-degree views from this mountaintop here, but it's also pasture. So right now it's leased out to one of the neighbors, but it's up for sale. And you can fit a lot of cattle or a lot of livestock on this property, but it also has a lot of forested area. And then one of the awesome features is there's actually a 1.5 mile riverfront that comes with this. So there's plenty of home sites down that way. You can actually have a whole preparedness community here. You know, and why not? You've got golf communities and retirement communities. You know, well, hey, this would be the perfect preparedness community. It's got, you know, wind power and solar power is viable on this end of the property, and there's water.
Blowing great today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
exactly. So, you know, and it's really a viable option for someone wanting to develop. You know, or like a multi-generational family. A lot of people are looking for land for their grandparents and their grandkids and stuff like that, where everyone can kind of bug out to one spot. And this is really a perfect location. It's on a peninsula. There's water on 3 sides with the river. You know, so it meets most of the criteria. But there's also other properties. You know, like I said, there's all kinds of farms and mini farms that are coming up for grabs in the area. There's raw land. You know, blends of 50% wooded, 50% pasture. You know, so anything you could possibly want, you can find out this way, and there's a lot of stuff available. So,
do you think it's accurate? Joel Skousen gave Tennessee in strategic relocation. I think he gave us a 3.5. Nowhere else in the East Coast got that except for Tennessee, and I think that was the highest score in the East Coast. Do you think that was a fair assessment for what's available today for people to get off the grid?
It is. I get phone calls about that all the time. Everyone wants the Cumberland Plateau because that's what he is recommended is what is his, I think, number 2 pick overall, maybe.
I think
even.
Utah was 1.
And but for his number 1 pick for the East Coast, I think, is what it was. But you know, the plateau has its pluses and minuses. I think if you come a little bit further east, it's a little bit of a hidden secret. I think not a lot of people know about this area. Plateau's been known about for a while, and it's got a few drawbacks. You know, just with like nuclear facilities in the area and stuff like that. You know, it's definitely a very viable location. I talk to people about it all the time, but when they see what they can get out this way too, a lot of people are they're actually selling out that way and moving this way too. So you know, this whole end of Tennessee, of a plateau on over, is really a great location. It meets just about all the criteria, so you know, can't go wrong, really.
Awesome. Oh, I agree. And if you want to know more info about, you know, if you're looking for transitioning from another location in the U.S., or if you're here in Tennessee and want to move to a little further in the mountains, Kevin's got access to properties all around, and you can check out his info at the beginning of the video there. We already got it posted, and also it's in the video description below. Kevin, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
As always.
Thank you.
Guys, till we see you again here at the channel, I hope you have a most blessed day. In Yahushua's name.